Hey, hi there, that's French Vinyl Addict coming on another video. In today's one, I will be reviewing all the purchases I made during my last trip to the UK. Yeah, I was lucky I could fly to the UK about 2 weeks ago. Firstly, I had to meet up with a guy I work with. Then I also took advantage to do some record shopping, road trip digging stuff. So yeah, we drove down to Torquay, Plymouth, Bristol, Bath, and then back to London. And yeah, before entering to the nitty-gritty, I will give a quick shout out to to Fred, who is a French video maker just like myself, and he's pretty funny. He comes from the almost the same place that I do in France, and he's been living in Australia for 20 years. So he has two channels, one in French. I will put maybe in a link in the description. Yeah, the first one is in French, which is New Delhi, and the other one which has been running for some times now. Big Star is in English, so I will just go and check it out. What Fred's video are all about. Very interesting taste for music in general. And once again, thank you very much, Fred. And I started to find all the amazing treasure you showed in your video, the progressive rock Québécois video you made just with myself in thought. So thank you very much. And yeah, how about my purchases? Ready for that? Let's go. So yeah, UK purchases vinyl really always interesting to visit a different country, different continent, to come across to different copies that I couldn't find over here. So yeah, first stop we made was in Plymouth. So I will maybe put a picture of the store because I have to mention that this store, Google Records was the name. Yeah, he had really good price. Amazing stuff. They had everything really from 60s up until modern times, I would say. More recent material, mainly classic rock, prog rock, and the price he had in the store was really decent. So I have to mention that. And the first record I found was that one. So this is Family. This is the third album they made. Roger Chapman. I really love Family. As you know, it's like maybe in my book, it's like Fairport Convention. Those are a pretty much underrated band that would deserve more attention on VC. They were massive source of inspiration for all the prog generation to come. In the 70s, this is Family, third album, a song for me, and this is a UK press, obviously. Second one, um, I was really lucky. I had come across in that album in another store just prior, I think the day before, and the store had it for at £50 something, and I was say, okay, what should I do? It's a UK press, and I was kind of hesitating. I just let it go, and the next day I found the same copy, the same record for half of the price. So I paid £25 in the store I was mentioning earlier in Plymouth. So I jumped on that occasion. This is Hawkeye. This is 1975, and this is really early 70s prog rock meets middle late 70s prog in a way. You have Synthesizer. You have it's an interesting album. It's not a prog. It's one of the early 70s prog album. If you really like King Crimson, very early Genesis, it's a little bit more, I would say, progressist in a way. So this is Hawkeye, Warrior of the Edge of Time. And now we are back in the 60s. This is the Strobes. I recently got into the Strobes, and we agree with Mike. Spiral Vinyl. He's got a great channel, and we often had this nice discussion in Ian live stream, Ranking the Obscure. This is a UK live stream on Thursday afternoon, Eastern time. It's 8 p.m. in the UK time. This is really cool. A lot of pleasure chatting with all the members that are usually present during that show. And we agree with Mike. This band deserves more attention on VC. This is the Strobe's second album. Yeah, I already had the first one I showed last during my last video, and so yeah, well, was really lucky to find this UK pressed, one of the first English band signed under A&M label, the Strobes. Now another band um, from late 60s, not an English one. This is UK press, but this is a US American band. This is Rhinoceros, and I was very curious about the cover. I was asking like the manager of the store, and he said, "Hey, I got a client. He's very into prog rock. He already has a copy of that one. He says it's quoted in Discogs as hard rock, but it's more like hard blues, psych rock." So I say, okay, it has convinced me. You piqued my curiosity. Really cool artwork, a gatefold, released on the Electra label. So you know the Doors, Love, Poor Battlefield White Band, just to name a few. Tim Buckley, Duke Hastings, ex-member of Buffalo Springfield. So yeah, I was really lucky to, and it's very interesting. It's sometimes you made some blind purchases. You talk with the manager, and you know you picked your interest, I would say. Next one is an album I already had in a pretty not poor condition, I would say, but in not very interesting pressing. I found once again that album Genesis, Nursery Crime. This is their third album. The first one with Steve Hackett and Phil Collins. One of my absolute favorite album from the Peter Gabriel era. You know, you cannot do wrong with Foxtrot, with Selling England by the Pound, with that one. And I was really lucky because this is something I have never ever come across. And I will just show you. This is a UK press, but it's not the usual label. You know that I will put a picture maybe on the on that label I'm mentioning, the famous Charisma label with that Lewis Carroll artwork. Um, I was lucky to find that version. This is a very first Pink Scroll label, so one of the very first pressing of Nursery Crime in UK press. Decent condition, and I'd like to point out once again, I didn't pay 50 or 100 pounds for that, English pounds. Price was very decent. So yeah, you can still find amazing copy in store where people are just not crazy about price, about speculating. Just to mention. Now we moving on to the next store I went to. This is in Bristol, place called Astro Vinyl. It is in Park Row in Bristol, UK, and I was lucky to find other stuff there. Starting with that one, this is a compilation. I already found the volume one. If you watch my channel, it was like in August. I found this. The first. I will maybe try put a picture. I found the first copy in Toronto in Rotatis. Our store was recommended to me by Brian Robot, and now I was lucky to find this one. And yeah, it's a volume 2. It's a compilation released in CD. It was a double CD in 2006. They made in vinyl in 2014. The first CD on 2 vinyl. That's the second CD obviously on those volume 2 vinyl. Hide and Seek, amazing song. I had to learn this intro, how to play it. When I was trying to play the guitar back in the day, this is why I came to Brian Johnstone Brian Johnstone Massacre. Really psych, more modern 90s band. Now back to the classics. I didn't have a decent copy of that very iconic album, Brian Salad Surgery, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. A lot of people who watches my channel, you know about the band you love. I have one sub. He's probably here from the beginning. I know he likes Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and I do it too. I really like this. I really love the, I would say, up until maybe that one. It's really interesting, quite experimental. If you want to start with prog rock, maybe not with that one. Try Tarkus. But if you really like experienced, advanced in your process of enjoying progressive music, I would say go for it. Go for it, and go for it with that one as well. My copy was poor. I was in the UK, so I say okay, and still I paid £7 for that one. I paid really £7. It was, I think, price tag at 15, and I think I have 50. Yeah, I have 50% off. And it's not a reissue. It's the original or a second press with the island with pink rim, as you can see. Some people confirmed to me that, and for £7 you cannot do wrong. Now another iconic album from the 60s, the Moody Blues in Search of the Lost Chord. This is the one they made right after Days of the Future Past with Night in Wet Satin. Really cool. It's not prog in my book. Certainly consider prog by the day, but now we know all the other bands like Genesis, yes, Gentle Giant. They were certainly inspired by the work of Moody Blues, of Procol Harum. So now we cannot quote this album as prog as we may have used to, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this is still a great album. I had this one in my hands like a dozen of times in the store over here in Montreal or in Europe, and I don't know. I never said, okay, you have to buy that one. I was in the UK, with that mood, with that discussion I had with the local manager, with the store manager, and gave me. I say, okay, now I have to grab a copy of that one because I knew about that album. But I say, okay, now it's an original copy released on the Durham label, the Moody Blues. On to next one is another is something quite different. Quite it's not the same decade. It's we are in the 90s, early 90s. This is a band a friend of mine, Vinyl Mood, recently made a video about the Joshua Tree, and made me want to rediscover a part of the career I'm not really know about. This is U2. This is Achtung Baby, Achtung with the German accent, yeah. And this is an original press from 1991. I was really lucky to find an OG, early 90s, and Ian ranking the Prog Obscure, a great channel, great live stream Thursday. If you don't know about this channel, check it out. Ranking the Obscure RTO. We have really a lot of fun discussing on Thursday with a fellow member from the UK Vine community. He confirmed this is a UK first press because he bought on the day it was released, as I was told. So yeah, you too. Now we went in another store in a market, really hidden, and the guy was really crazy about stuff like ska, dub, reggae, and I was lucky to find. I never had a chance to find decent copies in vinyl until now. So this is I already had all on CD as I grew up with. This is a Bob Marley. I'm talking about reggae. I'm talking about original UK press of that one released on the Island label. Sounds really cool. So you know Bob Marley, you know the reggae, the story. I won't present you Bob Marley right now. Um, I also found a second one, Survival, and yeah, it's really cool to rediscover. As I often say, I grew up with a CD in the 90s with a digital version of format, whatever, and it's really cool to rediscover, the powerful dynamic, which is obvious when you are a part of the vinyl community for a long time, but it's always a pleasure. And I always had fun to rediscover the original sound. And in that store, they didn't have it. He didn't sell only reggae stuff. He had classic rock and progressive music, just like that one. This is Tangerine Dream. This is Fedra. This is a credible journey. Yeah, if you like krautrock, if you like space rock, mid 70s, it's very. It's like a journey to the North Pole, I would say. Really, really interesting. Tangerine Dream. I won't present you the band because you already know about a German krautrock band, Fedra. And finally, I went to Bath, the beautiful city of Bath, very close to Bristol. And yeah, I had a nice discussion with a guy at a store called Resolution Records, and he was, yeah. So thanks to him, because he had his subscription to my channel, and I know he loves jazz, soul music, and they had in the store, yeah, very good choice of classic rock, collectible copies, krautrock, progressive music, and yeah, I found two interesting records there. German band, another band called Novalis. This is German krautrock. They sing in German, and I knew about that band because I read a book about the progressive music and the Brain label, and the Brain label was amazing. Was a quite iconic German label in the 70s. They had band like Jen, Grobschnitt, just to name a few, and which is what is funny about that is I was in England. I'm traveling all my way from Canada, and I found that record and this is a German press. This is originally released on German label Brain. So this is Novalis. And last but definitely not least, I already had that record in my collection, though in pretty not really good condition. There was a later U.S. press releases. I wasn't really happy, satisfied with the quality, with sonic quality. So I was really lucky to find finally, eventually, UK press of Legion Leaf Fairport Convention. I often mention that band, quite interesting band, late 60s folk rock. Richard Thompson is still in the band. Sandy Denny does an amazing job on vocal. Yeah, finally I got my pretty. It's simply beautiful. It sounds amazing. Released on the Island label, Legion Leaf. This is a Fairport Convention. So, um, hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye bye.